Hey everyone, if you love to watch history, hit that subscribe button and watch the video till the end because video is going to be very interesting. Your support keeps this channel going, ranking US presidents from worst to best. The presidency of the United States is one of the most powerful positions in the world, and each leader leaves a lasting impact on the nation. Some presidents have been celebrated for their leadership in times of crisis, their contributions to economic prosperity, and their ability to unite the country. Others, however, have faced criticism for poor decision-making, corruption, or policies that negatively affected the nation. This ranking evaluates U.S. presidents from worst to best, based on their political effectiveness, policy achievements, and leadership during critical moments in American history. The worst U.S. presidents: 1. James Buchanan, 1861. James Buchanan is widely regarded as the worst U.S. president. His failure to address the growing tensions between the North and the South directly contributed to the outbreak of the Civil War. Instead of working toward compromise, he allowed the expansion of slavery into new territories, and his inaction during the secession crisis left the Union vulnerable. His inability to navigate the intense political climate of the time resulted in his presidency being one of the most ineffective in history. 2. Andrew Johnson, 1865-1869. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Abraham Lincoln, was deeply unpopular and ineffective. His lenient approach to Reconstruction allowed Southern states to impose black codes, restricting the rights of newly freed slaves. His clashes with Congress resulted in his impeachment, making him the first U.S. president to face such a charge. Johnson's inability to provide strong leadership in a time of national healing set the country back in its efforts toward equality and progress. 3. Warren G. Harding, 1921-1923. Warren Harding's administration was plagued by corruption, with scandals such as Teapot Dome tarnishing his legacy. He appointed corrupt officials, and although he favored business-friendly policies, his lack of oversight led to significant abuses of power. His presidency is often cited as an example of the dangers of weak leadership and poor judgment in appointing key government officials. 4. Franklin Pierce, 1853-1857. Pierce's presidency was marked by his support for the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which effectively repealed the Missouri Compromise and escalated sectional tensions. His failure to address rising conflicts over slavery made him one of the least effective leaders in U.S. history. The divisions that grew under his leadership contributed directly to the eventual outbreak of the Civil War. 5. Herbert Hoover, 1929-1933. Although Hoover was an accomplished businessman before his presidency, his failure to respond effectively to the Great Depression sealed his reputation as one of the worst presidents. His belief in minimal government intervention worsened the economic crisis, leading to mass unemployment and suffering. Despite his later humanitarian efforts, his inability to take decisive action in the face of economic collapse defined his presidency. Below-average President 6. Millard Fillmore, 1850-1853. Fillmore signed the Fugitive Slave Act, which further inflamed tensions over slavery. His efforts to maintain peace between the North and South only deepened divisions, making his presidency largely ineffective. While he sought compromise, his inability to understand the moral and political implications of his actions weakened his legacy. 7. John Tyler, 1841-1845. John Tyler's presidency was controversial because he clashed with his own party, the Whigs, and was eventually expelled from it. While he achieved the annexation of Texas, his leadership was divisive and unremarkable. His presidency is often remembered for its instability and lack of strong direction. 8. Richard Nixon, 1969-1974. Nixon had significant foreign policy successes, including opening relations with China and negotiating arms reduction with the Soviet Union. However, his role in the Watergate scandal led to his resignation, making him one of the most disgraced U.S. presidents. Despite his achievements, his abuse of power overshadowed his tenure and eroded public trust in the government. 9. George W. Bush, 2001-2009. Bush's response to 9/11 and his handling of the War on Terror defined his presidency. While he initially gained public support, his administration's mismanagement of the Iraq War and the financial crisis of 2008 lowered his standing. His policies on national security expanded presidential power, but they also led to long-term conflicts with global repercussions. Average to good presidents 10, Bill Clinton 199-32001. Clinton presided over a strong economy and reduced the national deficit, but his presidency was overshadowed by the Monica Lewinsky scandal, which led to his impeachment. His policies on trade and crime remain debated. Despite his personal controversies, his economic policies contributed to one of the longest periods of sustained growth in U.S. history. 11. Jimmy Carter 1-977-1981. Carter's focus on human rights and environmental issues was forward-thinking, but his handling of the Iran hostage crisis and economic struggles weakened his presidency. His post-presidential humanitarian work has helped restore his legacy. While his leadership was not strong in times of crisis, his long-term contributions to diplomacy and social causes have earned him greater recognition over time. 12. Gerald Ford 1977. Ford is best known for pardoning Nixon, which was highly controversial. However, his efforts to heal the nation after Watergate were commendable, and his administration avoided major crises. His steady leadership helped stabilize the country, but his presidency lacked major legislative achievements. 13. Barack Obama 2092-2017. Obama's presidency saw the passage of the Affordable Care Act, the killing of Osama bin Laden, and the recovery from the Great Recession. However, political polarization and challenges in foreign policy limited some of his success. His efforts towards social justice and progressive policies have left a lasting impact on American politics. 14. George H.W. Bush 1989-1993. Bush managed the end of the Cold War and led a successful Gulf War campaign. Despite these achievements, economic downturns contributed to his re-election loss. His foreign policy successes were significant, but his inability to connect with the American public on domestic issues weakened his presidency. The best U.S. presidents. 15. Thomas Jefferson 1801180. Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president 1801180, is considered one of the most influential leaders in American history. He was a founding father, the primary author of the Declaration of Independence, and an advocate for democracy, individual rights, and education. His presidency shaped the early United States and expanded its future potential. 16. Theodore Roosevelt 1901-1909. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th U.S. President 1901-1909, is often considered one of the greatest leaders in American history. Known for his strong leadership, progressive policies, and energetic personality, Roosevelt transformed the U.S. into a global power while fighting for the rights of everyday Americans. 17. Franklin D. Roosevelt 193-31-945. Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR, served as the 32nd U.S. President 193-31-945, and is widely regarded as one of the greatest leaders in American history. He is best known for leading the U.S. through the Great Depression and World War II, serving an unprecedented 4 terms, and reshaping the role of the federal government. Saved the U.S. from economic collapse, Great Depression, led America to victory in World War II, created Social Security and key government programs that still help Americans today, served an unprecedented 4 terms showing how much people trusted his leadership, gave hope to millions during the toughest times in American history. FDR completely reshaped America, leaving a lasting impact that is still felt today. Would you like more details on any of his policies? 18. Abraham Lincoln 186-11865. Abraham Lincoln, 16th U.S. President 186-5, is widely considered the greatest U.S. president because of his leadership during the Civil War, his efforts to end slavery, and his ability to preserve the Union, saved the Union, and prevented the U.S. from splitting into 2 countries, abolished slavery, ensuring freedom for millions, fought for democracy and equality, great speaker and leader, inspiring the nation during its darkest times. Led with integrity and wisdom, earning the respect of Americans across history. No other president had to face a crisis as severe as the Civil War, and no other president changed the U.S. as profoundly as Abraham Lincoln. Conclusion: ranking U.S. presidents is a complex task influenced by historical perspective and evolving societal values. While some presidents are remembered for their triumphs, others are marked by their failures. Understanding their legacies helps provide insight into the nation's progress and challenges over time. As new historical analyses emerge, the rankings of these leaders may continue to evolve, reflecting changing interpretations of their contributions and failures. Each president's tenure offers valuable lessons on leadership, governance, and the role of the United States on the world stage. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. Hit the bell